In this tutorial, we will implement a battle pass system. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to access the code or the assets of this tutorial or looking for help, you can. Hi everyone, in this tutorial we'll be doing or actually showcasing a battle pass system, a battle pass device. So I'm not writing this out on this video because it was a long one. So I will just showcase it, but of course always I will showcase it in a way that you can watch it and type it. So we always have the option of you can either go to our Patreon to buy the code or the assets, or you can just follow along the video, write the code yourself, and use your own assets. So for this one, we have a similar thing that we had in our one of our two tutorials, like the vote system. So we have the editable variables that you need to set. But first of all, the most important thing that you need to set is these two arrays. So right now, in our battle pass device, we have two arrays with 10 elements. So these are the reward textures that you will have on the battle pass UI. So we'll have 5 rewards, 5 free rewards, and 5 premium rewards on each page. So we have 10 on each one. So we will have 2 pages. But what you want to do is, if you want to give other rewards than just money and diamonds, because these are just money and diamond textures, you need to change the textures here. So you need to fill these arrays with your own textures, and you can increase the amount here, decrease the amount, but it always needs to be a multiple of 5. Since we have 5 elements on each page, so it needs to be multiple of 5, but you can decrease and increase this, and of course the sizes of these both arrays must match. That's also an important one, and they also need to match with the amount of editable reward data we have. So another thing that's important. So let me directly show you, I had other classes up there. Let me show you the edibles you need to set. So these are just spawners. So then we have the rewards. Again, these array lengths must match between themselves, and also they must match between this rewards array. So we'll have, since we have 10 textures here, we are going to have 10 reward classes. We'll set 10 of them on the editor. So we have a free reward trigger, we have a premium reward trigger, and we have the XP amount. So the target XP amount is how much XP the player needs to get to earn this reward, basically. So the device triggers this a premium reward trigger and a free reward trigger when the rewards are claimed. So what you need to do is, by listening to these triggers and doing your own granting, you can grant whatever you want, you can use custom devices, whatever. You just need to do whatever you need to do by listening to these devices, which will I show how I set it up on the test scene. And then we have the XP granters, which is just a trigger to grant XP. So let me actually close the functions. A trigger to grant XP, and also the amount of XP to grant. So when you trigger this trigger device, it will grant that player this amount of XP, basically. And it's an array, So it's not like the previous arrays. You don't need to match the length of it to anything. You can set it to set it how much you like. So then we have the Battle Pass HUD trigger, which is show Battle Pass HUD trigger, which is which shows the Battle Pass HUD for that player when triggered. So you can bind this to a button or any device that you want. And this is the hide Battle Pass HUD trigger. So this hides the UI. Of course, we will have a close button on the UI for the player to close the UI, but maybe an event happens in the game that you want to close the UI. So that's when you trigger this. So we have other two triggers. This is premium ticket buy button click trigger. So this is triggered by the Battle Pass device. What you do is you listen to this device and you do some validation in your game. So this means when this trigger is triggered means that triggering player wants to buy a premium ticket. So you need to somehow validate in your game. Well, that's purchase in your game. It's up to you. You might look at some in-game resources, maybe if the player has enough gold or something, or maybe you have a device pin device and you want the player to enter some valid pin. You somehow validate it, and then you trigger the success triggered device, which tells the Battle Pass device that yes, this player succeeded the validation, and now you can allow that player to buy the premium, to claim the premium rewards, which opens the premium rewards for the player. But for testing purposes, I will show you. I just bind this trigger directly to this one. So when the player clicks on the buy premium button, it will the player will just get it without any other validation steps in between, because for testing I just didn't put anything in between. But in an actual game you would want to validate that purchase somehow. All right, so let's now from top to bottom, let me drink some water. Okay, now top to bottom. Oh, also we have savings enabled for this one. So Battle Pass state is enabled between sessions. So we have the texture arrays, we have the persistent map, then we have the save data for a player, then we have the in-game agent data. These just hold the level experience, which gifts are claimed, which are not, the canvas itself, blah blah blah. Actually, it's all stuff that you can guess if you are following our videos. This is not, Battle Pass is not a tricky thing. It's pretty straightforward. There's just a lot to do. So free claim button, when the player claims it, when the player clicks it, we just look, we get the correct we try to get the correct index here. We update the UI, and we look at the player state too, if the player can if a player has already claimed it, we don't do anything. Or maybe player can't claim it, maybe it's a premium one, and I'm sorry, this is a free one. Okay, so we just look if the player can claim it, and if they claim it, we allow them to claim it, and then we save the state, we update the HUD. Same with the premium, it's actually the same stuff. We look if premium is enabled, that's the additional one. Then the other ones all the same. We look at the experience, we look if it's claimed, if it was claimed before or not. But if it's all everything is okay, we claim the we let the player claim the reward, which is just actually triggering the trigger, which you will listen that and give your reward. What we do is just we update the game state and we update the UI. So this just holds the page index for the battle pass. I already showed these to you, and this I also showed this one. I didn't show the functions. This is so this is just triggers when the trigger is function. It calls the actual function that the inner function that grants experience to the player. So it's what it does is it's just increases the experience of the player, and according to the experience thresholds, if the player has if the player has surpassed some reward experience thresholds, then then the player will then we just update the state and also save it. This is what we do. If anywhere in the game, if we are not using like a time saved system, if anywhere in the game, if there's a state update, we just save it directly. And then we come to the main device. We have our editables, which I already talked over. We have our other arrays to handle this device, so that it's nice and easy for you. So we just fill some arrays to handle these devices, and we listen to the events. And when the player spawns, if it's the first spawn, we load the state from the persistence, and if not, then we just it's a second spawn, or it's not a first spawn, so we just save the state because to keep it updated. So after the onPlayer spawn function, we have the onPremium ticket buy success call. So this is called inside the, if you look, so it is called after the when the ticket buy success is triggered. So that's the trigger that you are going to trigger to signal this device that, hey, this player just successfully got this premium ticket. So we just unlocked the premium ticket for that player. And so hood trigger called. Here we just enable the open the hood, show trigger called, and the hide trigger called. We just hide the hood. When the player leaves, we remove them from the agent map. Oh, all right. Now, we have some event button event functions here down, and then we have our canvas functions. So these are we did not use a sub canvas approach here, so we just laid out the laid out all the widgets. So this might comes out as scary first. It's a bit long, but it's just laying out widgets line by line. It's actually just straightforward logic. We're just positioning each widget, so we're not doing any weird thing. Okay, so we just get the textures and then we set them here. So only thing you need to do is just, if you want to replace the textures with your own assets, is just change these values here. Or you don't even need to do that. Just you don't even actually change the code. Just have a texture that's called like lock text, but basically it's going to be your asset, and as long as the name matches, it's going to work. So this works to create the free reward canvas this is the upper part of the battle pass. This is the premium reward canvas, so it works for the to create the bottom part of the battle pass canvas. So they are mostly similar, as you can see. So we mostly have textures laid out, and we have the button to claim the reward. Then we have the slider where the experience will increase and decrease. Yeah, I mean, it can decrease if you set it to decrease. So we have here, this is the function to create the entire battle pass hood. It actually uses, I mean, it's not like we don't use sub canvas approach at all. We use it, but we use it less here compared to our other some of our other tutorials. So this is used to create the entire battle pass UI, which you will see in the playtest. So we have a bunch of textures again, so laying out all the widgets, so laying out the slider canvas, then the node textures, like the rectangles and the buttons. We're laying them all out, and then the free rewards and the premium rewards. So then we have the update function, where according to the agent data's according to the this player's state, we are updating the entire the battle pass hood. So we are going through each widget and updating them. So we are doing some index calculations to get the textures that we want from the arrays. This is working for the this is the paging logic, basically. All right. Okay. Now these are the button functions, the UI button functions. These run. This is the this is called when the right page button is clicked, and it's just, if there is a page to go on the right, there's a page to increase, then it will increase that. If not, it won't do anything. And this is the left page button clicked. It's the same thing, but it's just for decreasing the page. This is basically just it's quit button, so it just closes the hood. My premium button, this is calls the premium ticket buy button click trigger. So you need to, this is a trigger that you're going to listen to be notified about a coming ticket request by a player. So that was a lot. So before actually going through the scene, let me show you the let me scroll down slowly to show you the entire thing once more, so you can type it out easily. So again, I emphasize on setting the importance of setting these arrays. If you want to customize and place your own assets, you need to do those. And of course, these lengths must match. These lengths must match with themselves, and their length also must match with this rewards array. Right. Now, so let me just go down, scroll down slowly. Yep. Pass down all those classes. Yep. And then we come to the main device. On player spawn, where we load the state, the premium ticket function, hood showing and closing functions, and then the sub canvas creation functions first, laying out the widgets. Oh right, also I need to open those. All right. then the premium rewards canvas function, which is similar to the free rewards. Then we have the slider canvas creation function and the battle pass HUD. Okay. So we have these like empty spaces here because that's how we empty spaces and new line characters. For the text of the buttons, that's how we basically set the size of the button. There's no way now. Currently, there's no other way to set the size of a button, but by putting empty space and putting new lines, basically we are setting the horizontal and vertical sizes of the button because it enlarges to encapsulate all the text inside it. Alright, so this is the most lengthy one. By the way, this function actually can be made to be much more smaller using loops, and but that's how we did with this one. It's basically a repetition of similar things over and over, so just laying out widget data, and then the update function, which works on updating the Battle Pass UI, looking at the agents, looking at the player state, which is why it's important to update that state. Alright, now you can see that what we are doing is we're getting the widgets that we need to update from the widgets array, and then using the specific indexes, then like we are either updating it according to what they are. Like if it's an image, we update the texture. If it's text, we might update the text. And then we have the click buttons, and yeah, I hope you were able to follow and see all of that. So now I'll continue with so that was the entire code. Now I'll continue with showing you the scene. Alright, so before continuing with the scene, I want to show you our assets. So it's just it's just a viewing issue with the texture, no problem. So there's not actually a black box here. So here all the texture assets that we are using with our battle pass. I mean, we outdid ourselves this time. Like we have a lot of assets on this one. So of course you can use ours or you can use yours. If you want to access our assets, you can check our Patreon. So you can see that each of our assets are separated on their own textures. So we have like 10 images for the rewards and 10 images for the texture and 10 images for the free rewards and 10 images for the premium rewards. Of course, I mean these can be increased a lot even if you like use our assets. You can use a lot of different images for the reward. Alright, now we have a lot of billboards here. These are just for showing me inside the game which trigger is for what. Of course, because of a UEFN error, it's not showing the text. If I move down a little bit, it'll show them. Alright, so as you can see, I have set up 10 rewards because I have 10 elements in the textures, so I must have like 10 rewards that matching them. So with each reward, I set up the XP amount that is required to acquire this reward. So I then set a trigger for the free reward and a trigger for the premium reward, which is all these are. Here we have like 10 free rewards triggers and 10 premium reward triggers, and they're all connected to a item granter, which I just give 1 gold on the free reward and 1 diamond on the premium reward. I mean, you can give out anything, but of course it would make sense if it matches the texture on the battle pass. So that's why we made a way for you to change those textures. So, and that's by changing those arrays inside the code element. And then, so these are just connected to the event like this. So connected on the on trigger defense, and it just grants the item. So then we have the rewards. We have the spawn pads. We have the XP granters. So these, you can trigger these to give XP to the player. You can set the XP amount however you want, and you can put the amount of triggers as it's just an array, so you can put however you want as well. So I just set 1, 5, 25, 50, but I can do anything else. Like I can do 100, I can do 1000, whatever I want. All right. Now, then after that we have these 4 important triggers. 2 of these are just for showing the hood and then hiding the hood, and also so we have 2 triggers for the premium. They're both important. This one is triggered by the device when the player requests to buy a premium ticket. So you need to listen to this device and then do some stuff your own to validate if that player can buy a premium ticket, like maybe looking at some in-game resources, or maybe like binding another device there and requiring the player to enter a pin, and through whatever validation you make, if the player succeeds, then this is a trigger that you're going to trigger. The device listens to that trigger, so you trigger this one, and then the player successfully gets the premium ticket, and by that the premium rewards are unlocked for the player. So since for testing purposes, I just set this to trigger when this is triggered. So what will basically happen is player will click, when the player clicks on the buy premium ticket button, this will immediately trigger and the premium rewards will open. Of course, in actual game you would want something in between, so I just set it up like this for testing purposes. Alright, so I guess that's everything. That's all that you need to set for this device, and now let's continue to playtesting. Alright, now as you can see, the many billboards and triggers, so let's go over them one by one, but we don't actually go over them. These are just for the rewards, but I need to explain these ones. These are important. So this trigger simply opens the hood for the player. So you need to trigger this trigger outside. You can bind it to a button or something, and then this is the trigger to close the hood. Of course, the player can close it themselves, but if something happens in the game where you want to close the hoods, battle pass hoods of the players, if they are open, then you'll need to trigger this one. So these are important. So this one is, this buy click trigger is triggered by the battle pass device. So you need to listen this one, and when this trigger is triggered, you need to do your own stuff. So you need to validate if the player can buy the premium ticket. I mean, this could be a lot of things. It could be like a pin number to get the ticket, or it could be like an in-game like resource requirement, or something else. But the point is, you need to validate if the player can buy the ticket or not. And after validating it, you can trigger this success trigger, and it will grant the ticket to the player. Right now, for testing purposes, I just bind this directly to this. So when I click the buy premium button, I will just directly buy it. But of course, in an actual game, you need to do your own stuff in between. So, all right. Now, as you can see, my triggers to grant experience, I just, it's just a couple of them. You can put as much as you want, and the XP amounts can be as much as you want. So if I get a little bit experience here, you can see that the bar has been moved. And let me get some more experience. Right. So I can claim this, and since I just give gold with the grantors, it just gives 1 gold for the free rewards, and if I get the premium, I can get diamonds. But of course, I get gold and diamond because that's how I set up the grantors. You can set up in any way you want. Of course, you would want them to match the icons images here. So by default, we just have diamond and money images. But as I showed you, by changing the elements of the texture arrays, so we had 2 texture arrays, one for the free rewards and the other for the premium rewards. By changing the elements of that array, basically you can change the images in these rectangles. So actually you can make it whatever you want. You can make these icons of weapons, anything else. You can do whatever you want. And also since we have 10 elements, we only have 2 pages, but the UI, it uses a paging system, so it will basically you can put many items you want. Of course, they need to be a multiple of 5, since we have 5 elements on each page. So let me show that it's also the save system also works. So I will end the game, and I will start the game, and now you can see that the state is saved, and I can get my rewards, I can increase the experience, blah blah blah. All that works fine. So yeah, actually that was all. To access the code or the assets of this video, you can check our Patreon. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share if you enjoyed, and also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. See you later.